Hey guys, that's Affiliate Business Conversation. Roman is here with you as usually. Ian Fernanda here also. Hey Ian.
How's everything?
And today we are actually going to talk about tracking. To track or not to track. Honest conversation with Lauren Malka. Hey Lauren, do
Hi,
apologize
Jan. Hi,
again
Roman.
if I pronounce your name wrong. You can correct
It's
me.
okay. It's
Right.
okay. No worries.
Lauren,
That I'm used to it.
yeah, Lauren is a founder of AnyTrack tracking platform, and we're just going to talk everything tracking related today. And this being said, I just want to give a final, not a final, but opening word to Ian. You begin.
Yeah, so today I want to talk about like affiliate tracking. I think Lauren has such a nice platform to have, which I've semi-tested, really haven't put too much volume on it. And I want to talk about like the evolution of tracking from like the Prospect 202 days from when I first started, from which is quickly direct linking to just a simple redirect script to now where Lauren has a simple JavaScript. You just put it on a page, similar to how our Google Analytics work, your Facebook Pixels work, and I kind of want to go into these issues now, especially this privacy issue that we're going through, talking about Google and Facebook and the EU GDPRs, and then how it is affecting somewhat affiliate marketing space in a bit, you know. So, Lauren, I guess go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, what is your background,
Um,
Lauren?
well, I've been doing business development, affiliate marketing for the past 20 years. Um, I've invested in companies in those fields. I launched different companies. I was a merchant in the gaming business, and then an affiliate network in the financial trading business. And then after I sold my different businesses, I started dealing with SaaS products. And that's when I started the tracking desk, which I closed a couple of years ago, which was a competitor to Volume and CPV Labs and the other trackers. It was becoming a very crowded environment, um, and now I've launched about a year and a half ago a company called AnyTrack, um, which takes a completely different approach to tracking. Um, it's not a tracker. It's not a conversion tracking software. It's we call it a conversion data platform. And why are we talking about conversion data? Because essentially tracking is one aspect of of the you know of the conversion actions. What you do with the data and where you send it and how you process it is actually what truly matters. Um,
Yeah, like
and
the analytical side of things, you know.
well, we'll get to that in a second. But when you hear or read bullet points from a tracking software saying like actionable insights. What is an actionable insight? It can be a line in a report telling you, okay, that keyword is performing better. Now I'm going to go into my Google Ads account and increase the bid on that particular keyword. Um, but a true actionable insight is when that information goes straight to Google Ads via Google Analytics, and that Google Ads, artificial intelligence, machine learning, automatic optimization can actually take the entire data set related to that conversion and optimize accordingly. I mean, there are hundreds of data points in a Google Ads campaign. And now with like all those dynamic ads that that Google creates for you, it's literally impossible to follow manually, your campaigns. I mean, at any given time, you can have 200 or 300 combination of an ad, and thinking and claiming that you could actually potentially do that is not even remotely possible.
Yeah, but I think
So,
for like affiliates like me, I think people only look at certain data points. You know what I mean? Like, and I get it. There's
oh,
obviously stuff that we're missing out. I know I am for sure because there is definitely a lot of viewpoint to look at. But there's only certain metrics I think that matters. You know what I mean? When it comes to conversions, maybe when you're doing huge volume, you really want to pinpoint certain things, and then that becomes an argument in itself. Where like, oh, do I really care about this 1% uh, variable that might make me a 2% conversion, or that's already at my 50%
well,
conversion, right? So
I understand what you're saying, and I understand where you're coming from, because at the end there are a few metrics that truly matter. Um, but think about those metrics and insights and variables of a campaign as an entire data set that is fully interconnected, and that impact, and every data point and every parameter and every variable and every bits and pieces of data that you gather through your campaign actually correlate to other parameters. So
Do I
you're right.
understand? Do I understand you correctly? Just to clarify, you might be already using AnyTrack, but I have never, and many of our listeners, I think, also neither. Do I understand you correctly that AnyTrack is capable of directly interacting with traffic sources and make changes on the go
Okay,
instantly?
so no, no, that's I got
you got
sideways.
you got super excited. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not every day on a podcast, but
We got to share the
um,
beautiful face. It's all
so I
good.
can get I can start talking, and I'm glad I cut my hair so I don't look like Einstein.
That's why I have the hat on.
That's the crazy guy talking about tracking. Yeah, uh, no, that's no, we do not interact with the ads themselves, um, because and there are plenty of use cases that will outline this or verify what I'm saying. What is inside Google Ads and Facebook Ads, for instance, not everything is accessible through their API. Not all the
Obviously.
data is accessible to their API. So what you can do externally, to impact the campaigns, the bids, and the optimization, is only a portion of what can actually be done by Google or Facebook. You don't have access to their artificial intelligence engine that does things probably better than others. Now, obviously, we've seen the past months, Facebook artificial intelligence and machine learning driving everybody crazy, closing down accounts for no reasons and flagging accounts for totally the wrong reasons. Um, but let's say in the grand scheme of things, uh, what the affiliate community does, or the affiliate industry does, compared to the top advertisers and the big agencies, even though those also got their account flagged for no reason, is far more, the volume is far bigger. Um, so let's not entrust everything into artificial intelligence and Google Ads. But uh, given the fact that there are so many data points and so many optimization possibilities, uh, just optimizing by revenue is not necessarily the best way to go about it. Um, But let me say just one example. I think that can really illustrate what my opening statement. A few weeks ago, we analyzed a campaign of one of our customers um, running a comparison website on Google for certain products, and 80% of his sales conversion um, were generated through the retargeting campaigns, while 20% only from the direct campaigns. The direct campaigns generated pretty much 50-50 audience of men and women. Same searches, same, pretty much everything's the same. But then for the retargeting campaign, well, everybody was retargeted. 80% of the sales conversion were actually triggered by women.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that you can only see in Google Analytics.
Yeah.
Okay, so no matter what tracker you use, and how you use it, and how big is the tracker, whether it's volume or how old they are in terms of experience and whatnot, this type of data is only accessible through certain analytics platforms. So it can be Facebook Pixel or Google Analytics or Bing or others, but this is where the information is. So when you see that and you say, okay, well, how can you actually optimize your campaign if you don't even have that information? And now let me just say another thing is that just passing an information into a parameter into your tracker, so audience equal women or men, doesn't mean from whatever pop ads or from Zero Park or from any of those networks, doesn't mean that it's going to be women or women. And I challenge you can try and see in your Google Analytics, you just put your tag of Google Analytics on your site and by only women or men on any of those ad networks, and you'll see that there will be like a big discrepancy.
Of course. I mean, there's
And
always
that's
discrepancy in
because
tracking for sure.
no, I'm not talking about the discrepancy in tracking. I'm talking about discrepancy of if you buy a campaign of only women on Zero Park or
Oh,
whatever other network,
yeah, you'll get a
what
mix, of course, because then
what you
obviously,
see in
like,
Google Analytics is totally different in
yeah,
terms of what is the actual audience.
yeah,
And I'm not saying now they sell this or they sell that. Okay, what they gather in terms of data is they have just like not they have less data points than Google or Facebook for that matter. That to play with. So
yeah.
the quality of the data that you get outside of those networks is nowhere close to those platforms.
Yeah. So
Now,
wait,
just to
let me clarify something real quick. So I just want to make sure the discrepancy on Google Analytics is different from if you buy a direct traffic source, let's say only women, but you actually get a mix of male and female inside Google Analytics or your Facebook Pixel. Is that what you're saying? Correct?
That's exactly what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Now,
So my
why I'm
argument.
just one thing, just before we go to the next question, because maybe it was not very clear at the beginning. So AnyTrack is a conversion data platform. We obviously track affiliate conversions, like and all of these e-commerce affiliate CRM APIs. We track those. And the core feature or the core use case of AnyTrack is basically to send all that conversion data to all your pixels at once. Means that when you do some SEO, you get traffic, you get conversions. All the conversions will go to your Google Analytics account, Facebook Pixel account, Taboola, Outbrain, Bing. And then out of the SEO traffic and conversion data, you can create audience data in all your pixels and analytics.
And
So
retarget
that
them.
so that you can run retargeting campaigns. Now, uh, when I was talking earlier about conversion data, I'm saying, the conversion as we all see it, initially, and I hope to change that approach. A conversion is an event. Okay, it's like, okay, there was a conversion and the value is $10.
Correct.
Well, essentially, and now it's attributed to whatever campaign. Okay, to Facebook campaign. A conversion is more than that. A conversion is a conversion type, whether it's a lead, a sale, a purchase, a registration, a free
An
trial, etc.
install. Yeah, correct.
It's a product, so it can be a dating site. It's a brand. It can be, Match.com. The category would be dating, and the brand would be Match.com. There is a currency of that conversion, whether it's whatever currency you're working with, a transaction ID, etc., etc. So you have like a data set about the conversion that you can then use across your analytics and pixels, so that when you want to do retargeting of, someone just bought a car, all right, or tried a new car, and that's your lead, you got paid like $50 or $100. Now, chances are that this guy is going to buy an insurance for his new car. So how are you going to know what to promote next on your retargeting campaign if you don't know what product came through? Now, if you have a blog about finance in general, or hundreds of products in general, how do you actually track all those products together across your analytics, and then retarget the different products that you want to promote more on your next campaigns and in the funnel? So that's why we call AnyTrack a conversion data platform as opposed to a conversion tracking platform or tracker, because it's a lot more than just tracking.
Yeah, no, I totally understand it. I mean, as affiliates and as beginners, sometimes it's just so hard to focus on everything that linear focus is what affiliates are really, really good at. They basically take an iPhone offer for a lead gen and only want to promote it by one traffic source, doesn't care if it's male or female. You know what I mean? But when you start getting into, like, we're coming up in the holidays, right? The holidays are important. You kind of want to know, okay, my wife bought a skin cream, right? Will she like teeth whitening down the road? So that part I definitely do understand, like for big brands for sure. On the affiliate
Ian,
side, yeah,
have you had a chance already to use any track as an affiliate? Have you run any campaigns
I have
already
not
on it?
run any campaigns of it. I just posted on a few of my sites as organic, just to get
Uh
a quick
huh.
understanding of it. They work with a lot of the bigger network than the smaller CPAs and the direct advertisers that I work with. So, and I think for me, it doesn't really work with my model. You know what I mean? Since I am very more linear focused on dating males, dating females, and I kind of really don't care about anything else. You know what I mean? But if I was in a merchant, like I was in the past, like 5 years ago, then probably would work much, much better, because then I can take into my Google retargeting, take into my pixels. I can split it up by organic versus Outbrain, Taboola, right? And then go create an audience based on that, right? That's a more organized ecosystem in tracking than what affiliates are typically doing nowadays, right? And that's just too much for a lot of affiliates. You know what I mean? So when affiliates start out, they don't understand that, because they can't even figure out how to make a campaign. They don't even know what a CTR is sometimes when they first start, right? They don't even know what EPC is in comparison to CTR. You know what I mean? Or they can't even work backwards from CPA to an EPC. So that becomes a little too much, right?
Excuse me, what is EPC?
Earnings per click.
All right.
Yeah.
No,
So,
I was kidding. Sorry.
oh man, I'm like, wait, hold
But
on.
thanks for answering, Jan. Thank you very much. Okay,
Damn,
I feel very young now.
you got me
That would
very
I
have
wrong.
been
feel younger than
funny
you.
That
if
was
Ian
good.
could not answer.
I'm like, oh man, I got was in the flow. I'm like, okay, wait, hold on, okay. But yeah, so in that instance, I was not able to really use it to its full potential, just because I'm only buying one directional. You know what I mean? maybe now with affiliate business club, we can probably use it, right? Just because now we can push it over to conversion per pages, interaction per groups or certain forums. And that might be a much, much better model just because we will be getting organic, hopefully from YouTube when this just get posted up, maybe from Apple when they click on a link through Apple Podcasts, etc. And that goes into AnyTrack, I assume, into One Central, and it pushes back out to Google and Facebook to tell us what. So that makes more sense in the current environment I have now. But for
Well,
beginners and
I,
linear affiliates, I think it's very, very hard for them to really, really
I,
understand
I,
the full picture.
I get it. I think that's it's really about the type of customers we're looking for, or the type of customers that we see are mostly successful with any track, are affiliates, agencies, advertisers that they have a real asset.
Yeah, correct.
It's not just a landing. It's just a landing page for like an offer. They don't build a landing page for an offer. They have an asset, which can be like a big comparison website with hundreds of offers and thousands of pages where they have links of different products from maybe 10 affiliate networks automatically feed through the site, and they actually build a real asset, and they see the value of the data that they gather as like as an asset too.
Of course.
When you run a campaign for like one offer, one landing page, you create your landing page, and I saw like some, you reap a landing page from from a site that you saw, and then like bam, you just launch your campaign in like in 5 minutes on the tier two,
Yeah.
three network, and where you're gonna get probably like a lot of bot traffic, uh, and then and then see what's happening. You don't really build an asset.
Yeah, but
You, you try something.
it
But
still doesn't
I'm not.
harm.
Listen again. Let me just clarify something. I've got nothing against that. I don't judge that. I mean, this is like one way of doing things. If you want to look, long term, uh, you know, writing content, investing in content to to grow your business, whether it's in native ads or in SEO, or promoting heavy things, not just a landing page, then you might want to think data driven across the different networks that you want to hit, and that's where we can really help. Um, yeah.
Yeah, well, what I wanted to say that it still doesn't harm really to put your Google Pixel or Facebook Pixel to a landing page and start tracking it, and probably then retarget that audience. Many affiliates,
No,
especially beginners, do neglect it, but always maximize the use of your data. That's is a good rule, I guess, to follow. And here, AnyTrack
uh,
probably can be a useful
ab-
tool.
absolutely. There's, I mean, we don't pick and select our customers. Our customers come and they pick and choose whatever they want to they want to do with the platform. Some will just add Google Analytics and Facebook Pixel, and run on Google Ads for like some very simple websites, not using the Bing integration that we have, and that's like just money left on the table, because you can just copy paste your campaigns from Google Ads to Bing, and create your audiences, the same data across both platforms, and just make more money easily.
Mm.
That's the but some customers say, well, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm definitely like one of
if
those
that doesn't
guys as
matter,
well.
okay, fine.
Yeah,
Huh?
I'm definitely like one of those guys as well. Like when I was an advertiser, like we've had so much data for email, but I was like, man, we make so much money in ads anyway. Just I don't care about an extra $10,000 a month. You know what I mean? Because I'm making
Yeah.
I'm spending $10,000 a day, making 30K a day. So why do I want $1,000 a day extra, right? It's just the mentality, and then that is obviously a bad decision, right, business wise. But I would rather spend
But
my time where I'm good at. You know what I mean, than focus. But I should have gotten an email or somebody else to take care
Ian,
of that
Ian,
question.
those sweet days are long gone. When
Yeah,
you
that's
could
true.
easily make 10,000 a day, and now you really need to
Have
squeeze
an asset.
every
Yeah.
extra dollar out of your campaign. And I see affiliates now who run these old school campaigns on pops or push. They try to maximize it as much as possible. They would collect emails, they would subscribe you to push notifications, they would retarget you. I mean, every cent is counted in the end. So that's probably going to be the approach of next couple of years if you want to run those sort of campaigns.
Yeah, but I
Well,
think
that
a lot of affiliates are going to be too. Remember, a lot of people's attention span are very, very short, and this is why affiliate marketing is really, really good. Just like I know people like share sale affiliates or Amazon affiliates, they only promote like 5 products on a 5-page website, and that's all they do, right? And it makes them X amount of money. They're happy with that, and that's good to them, right? Whereas maybe they should have taken maybe all the checking affiliate offers and share sale and make a whole check site, right? And then add like pens and from CJ or whatnot. You know, but
Yeah.
it's just the thing is like affiliates are very like tunnel vision sometimes, and it's hard to think about a big business because big like I know for me is as an affiliate into a big business it was hard when I went from like just me and 2 people to
oh
like
well,
25 employees. Like I was like my mind couldn't handle the fact that holy crap, I'm like I don't own, but I have employees, but then they're slowing me down. I can't go travel. I gotta take care of them. I gotta give them
first you
what they
couldn't
want.
believe first you could
What?
not believe that you were actually making money out of thin air, and then
In
I
the
That's
said, oh my
true.
god,
internet.
like I even have people actually doing that.
Yeah, dude, you're definitely right. I didn't even believe in the internet. You know, I was raised like that the internet's a scam for sure. You know,
Yeah.
but it was definitely hard. Like I know my skill set and I was good at this, and it took me away from what I actually truly enjoyed, which was creating and data analytics part. You know what I mean? When it
Yeah,
became too much bigger, we had to think about now I got to think about IG conversions, YouTube conversions. It's just another skill set, and then I'm spending 10% on YouTube, 10% on LinkedIn, 10% on whatever, and then I'm like I'm not being an expert. I'm just good at everything. I'm not the best at one thing, you know.
Let's
So
talk
yeah.
about
Well,
technologies behind any track, how that is different from any other tracking platform. I know that Ian had a few questions here to be addressed.
oh yeah,
happy.
so
That's the cool part. Thank you.
well,
Yeah,
I mean,
Ian, go ahead.
it is a good thing because back in the day, tracking was literally a PHP redirect. You click on it,
Yeah.
it goes to redirect from the prospect to a database. It just checks a campaign ID, which checks back the database, and then goes back. Right. With any track, to my understanding, it's just JavaScript code, similar to what Google Analytics and Facebook Pixel is, and that's the only thing you really need. And then it actually pushes that information to the analytics and pixels without those being installed on the website itself. So you actually just need one piece of code. Yes.
That's the thing. So you were saying earlier that Jan, you didn't know where to put your mind on because you were like doing some YouTube and Facebook and this and that. You got plenty of things and like trying to understand how tracking work, uh, and put your head around all those challenges. Um, and that's something that I discovered with when running tracking desk. People, if you want to use a traditional tracker, uh, you need to understand how conversion tracking works. Actually, understand that you need to get a parameter, pass a parameter, get the parameter back in the postback, and send that parameter back into your traffic. Um, and understand that mechanism is not easy. And I can tell you, sometimes I'm confused. Now we just did an integration with a traditional tracker. So now you can track back and forth from I think Binom or one of those trackers back to any track, so that we can send the conversion data to Google Ads and Facebook. Uh, but and I tried doing the setup of Binom. I went nuts.
Oh yeah, Binom is
I
a
was
very
so
hard
I mean
install.
I was so confused. I mean, listen. a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I closed the tracking desk, which was like similar as, BMob and all of those trackers where you have to create the sources, create the affiliate networks, create the offers, create the post back, create the campaign, create the landing pages, and then connect everything together for like, a single campaign.
That's what
And
I'm
then
used to.
take,
Most of the trackers
yeah.
are still like
So
this, I
you
believe.
you
Or
you do like 200 actions, okay, and pray that everything is well, set
That
up,
is
and
true.
you didn't mix up some parameters, and then you take your campaign URL and put that in your, ad network, and pray for the conversion to go back and forth and works nicely, and don't get like some, white page error saying like, well, we can't find the cookie. So that's traditional trackers. And they do some great things, and some of our biggest clients also have accounts on those trackers. So there is no I don't underestimate those products. Um, but what we do is very different. Is we remove that requirement of understanding how tracking works. You just plug your link, your tracking code on your site. The tracking code will connect automatically with Google Analytics, Facebook Pixel, Taboola, Bing, whatever pixels you have on your site, and that you connect in your AnyTrack account. Everything is done through API, or just like copy paste of piece of your tracking code of Bing, for instance. Um, and and that's it. The affiliate networks offer settings and all of this, and the landing pages, you don't need to do it, because AnyTrack will identify and tag automatically all your affiliate links on your site.
all right.
So so you
So
so you can have a blog with 10,000 pages, each page promoting 20 different products. I'm just kidding. I'm exaggerating, to give you the understanding of what the platform is capable of. So instead of defining offers in the tracker and the offer links and the postback, you define an affiliate network in AnyTrack, and you put your postback in the affiliate network. And then you publish as many links as you want on your site. And the native links, okay, the has offer link, the cake link, the CJ affiliate link, the impact radius link, whatever link you have, you just publish it on your website. You can use also, a redirect plugin if you want. And AnyTrack will identify those links and pass the sub ID parameters automatically. Now, why is this important? Is because when someone goes to Amazon, after searching for a new iPhone or for a book, he might buy the book, but he might also buy a vacuum cleaner or a phone and a tennis racket. Now, it's again, coming back to the conversion data explanation of before, is that it's not just an event. There is an event with the data, and the data is the tennis racket and the phone and the vacuum cleaner and so on. So when the user leaves your site to go to an e-commerce platform, or to a site where he can buy 20 different AliExpress, for instance, okay, then you want to know what the user actually bought, and you don't want to define for him what is he going to buy. You put whatever links you want. You can use deep links. You can use any type of links from the affiliate networks, and then the conversion comes back with the data that came through. So there is a direct integration with the affiliate networks without requirement of using their or defining any offers in the tracker. So you just save so much time. That's
but
why I
you
was saying,
still,
like,
just one
yeah,
question. You still need to set up the postbacks, right? With an
well,
affiliate network.
yeah, but that's just a copy paste, and the postback is predefined with all the parameters of the affiliate network. So it's
Right.
not just like, conversion ID and click ID and payout. It's like all the sub IDs that you use. You can use all the sub IDs. The offer name, the offer ID, the creative ID, and so on. I mean, all the parameters that the affiliate platform, like Cake or Has Offers or CJ Affiliates, can pass. We define them in the system. and then you can
Right.
use them. Okay, and it's native. You don't have to make any changes to your parameters or to the click ID, the tokens, and all of this. It's copy paste.
Yeah, it's pretty much like predefined on your platform.
Yeah, everything
Yeah.
is predefined. And just to give another key difference with other trackers is that you don't define a campaign in any track. You define a property. A property is a website, like in Google Analytics. So you have
Uh-huh.
a website.
Oh.
So all the traffic that goes to your site with UTM parameters or any whatever parameters, campaign parameters that you pass on the URL will be automatically collected. So you can run. That's why I was explaining before that not if you run on Google Ads and you don't run on Bing, you're just leaving tons of money on the table. You can push all your traffic from Google and from Bing to the same website, the same landing pages on your website, etc., etc. Generate conversion. All the conversion will be attributed automatically to the right ad network, and on top of that, they will be sent to the pixels to create audiences. You have two sets of data. You have the conversion data used for ad attribution, ad click attribution, and the set of data that is used for audience building. So no matter what, you don't want to run on Bing, no problem. Just put your Bing pixels on the website, and regardless of where the traffic is going to be coming from, whether it's from Google, Facebook, Taboola, Outbrain, your Bing pixel will be filled with audience data, sales, purchases, leads, CPA, registration, whatever those conversions are. They will fill in the background your pixels.
That's
And
good to have.
eventually, the day you want to start, running on Bing, you already have like a big data set to play with.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So when like the whole platform is pretty much copy paste, and that's pretty much it. And this reason why it's just pretty simple for to use. I guess for some affiliates, they just have to understand their business model and how to use it, right? So
Um, eh, Listen, we focus on the tier one networks. So whether it's native and Taboola, Outbrain, Bing, Google Ads, and Facebook, we're gonna add more, but those are the key networks. Um, and yeah, I understand that some affiliates are not keen on going on those platforms because they run some offers that might not be suitable. Um, but yeah, that's where we focus. I mean, if you do some white hat marketing and you want to build something sustainable, then that's those are probably the ad networks you want to go after. Um,
yeah.
but yeah.
So let's talk about like tracking like privacy, right? Since this is a JavaScript and people have to agree on accepting cookies, is there any effect with your tracking, especially with GDPR, especially with the EU, but they're more strict in the US? Does this still
Well,
track when
okay.
people
So here is
let's say they disable it on let's say on ianfernando.com I have any track, which I did test on, and it just
mhm.
decides to just hit no, I do not accept. It literally removes like the JavaScript codes on pages.
Okay. So first of all, any if you refuse cookies, you refuse cookies.
Yeah,
Period.
yeah,
So no tracking works when there are no cookies,
correct. But
or
there
when there are
is
no or there are no tags on the actual website.
you can pass variables through PHP. That's why you have like cookieless redirects. Like old school marketing, old school tracking is actually coming back now because it didn't depend on cookies. You know.
Well, the bad news is that ETP and ITP are going to start blocking redirect
That is true
trackers.
too. So like
And
Apple,
the other thing that is coming is the mitigation of CNAME to hide the
the
tracker,
tracking, yeah, that is true. That is another issue. Yeah.
so that anything that is right now when you have your Yanfernando .com website and you create a CNAME tracking.yatfernando.com right now the cookie is first party.
Yeah, first party. Yep.
And now what is coming is basically that this is going to be recognized as third party.
And gonna
And
be
third
blocked
party
by
cookies,
Google, right?
everything is going to be blocked.
Yeah.
So if someone refuses or doesn't have JavaScript enabled on his website, that's a problem. Okay, well, sorry, we can't really help out here. But nobody can. Google Analytics doesn't work either.
Correct.
If Google Analytics doesn't work, I think it's fine for us not to work. But in general, no JavaScript, is a problem that it's a cost of doing business.
Yes. So that brings into the next
When
topic of yeah.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
but
Sorry.
let
So
me
then,
just finish the redirect that you have on your links of the tracker links. Okay, so when you send traffic from Google to your website, and let's say you use volume, okay, and the redirect link that you have on the offer link, okay, that is going to actually redirect to the offer. Now, because that redirect relies on the cookie,
correct.
that redirect won't work.
Correct.
With any track, the link that you put on your website is the actual link from the affiliate network. So there is no problem with that redirect because it doesn't rely on any cookie to actually bring the user to the link.
Yeah, because it's
That
a raw
nuance,
redirect.
exactly. It's a redirect. It's a link. You just click on the link unless there is like a virus on the other side that and your computer is going to block it. It's a standard redirect. So this is what call it parallel tracking was about when they released it, a couple of years ago when Google released that new technology, just to prevent and to get over those type of redirects and the redirect chains that can slow down the computer, slow down the visitor, slow down, and that might eventually be blocked by browsers. So we took that approach of being fully redirectless. So there are no redirects in our platform.
Yeah, correct.
Okay,
That's
and
based on a network side, but in argument, if the redirects, like there are things like CJ probably has one or two redirects before he actually goes to Best Buy. LinkedIn has one or two. LinkedIn has one or two before it goes to Apple apps, right? ShareSale
yeah,
definitely has just one, right? They're definitely, I think,
yeah.
the fastest
But that's
one.
no. I'm not. Listen, there is a big difference between blocking redirects and blocking redirects that only work if you have a cookie on your computer.
I understand. Okay.
Okay, and that's what the trackers do. They
Yeah.
actually, you click on your link, you get a cookie, you land on the landing page. Now you have the cookie, the click URL that you have on your landing page or on your website relies on that cookie to actually tell you, okay, well, you need to go to offer A, B, C, D.
Yeah, correct.
And
Instead of going
that
back to a database. Yeah.
exactly. And that redirect is gonna be blocked. Now, back to the redirectless. Now, I've heard some people ask me about the difference of redirectless tracking of volume and any track. Um, what is interesting about what they do, and they actually write it on their site, and I was actually very surprised to read that,
Oh,
is
we talked
that
about
they
this
actually,
actually. Yeah.
yeah, we spoke about this. They
Yeah.
actually replace. Okay, so what happens is that you send a visitor to your landing page directly without going through a redirect of the campaign redirect. And now the tracking script of volume is gonna get the campaign data and say, oh, okay, well that's we're gonna go back to the server of volume, okay, get the information about the redirect and replace the click URL with
Yeah.
the actual offer link. And that is exactly what is a cloaker doing.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why people get banned on Facebook and Google and so on, okay, is not necessarily because they do something wrong, but because they use tools that might be doing something wrong.
Uh-huh.
And when you say redirect less, it's redirect less. And now it's fine, they do redirect less because essentially at the end, when they've replaced that link with the offer link of the affiliate network, okay, it will work.
Yeah.
But the network will see that as a cloaking,
Correct.
because the link will be different according to what campaigns and device and so on and so on. And therefore, the network will actually, or the ad network, Google, Facebook, will automatically identify that as a different behavior. And because it's a different behavior according to device and geo, etc., they will see that as a cloaker, and eventually get your account.
So
So where do you
then
see
many
like,
people might use AnyTrack for clocking.
well, you can't cloak with any
Well,
track.
we don't interfere at all with the content.
Yeah.
That's what you need to understand. We have no impact on the content. You put a link, that's going to be the link.
Yeah.
If you want to do some instrumentation of linking on your site and replace some links with based on keywords and so on, that's your problem. But any track as a tool itself is not going um, to change the content of your website. And if you decide to still do some cloaking on your side, then that's might get you a ban, but that's not going to be because of any track, but rather
Yeah.
because of
'Cause the
what you're
benefit
doing.
of like a tracking platform is the ability to manage links, right? So let's say like in the CPA space, if an offer dies down, instead of me going to all 100 pages, right? Let's say I have 100 pages, I can just go into my tracking platform, change the link on my back end, and now that link on all 100 pages has been updated within a couple seconds. Whereas if you just add your CJ link on a page, you have to, and
Yeah,
that offer or vendor moves out of CJ and goes to share sale or impact radius, you have to take
yeah,
impact radius link and then replace all those links with each one of those pages, right? So there's that
okay,
management time issue, right? So, but again,
yeah.
we
But
we are more.
if
I'm talking about the
if
CPA
if
side. You
is
know,
yeah, but if you do uh, if you run a blog, okay, and that's what you promote, whether it's a landing page on a blog or whether it's a blog with hundreds of pages, you have plugins that free plugins
correct? Yeah,
that help you manage your links, so you can run that either via API or via or directly manage the links, so that you get over that issue. Um, but but you're right, because we don't handle those links. There is there is some sort of a downside. If you work on a large scale, then obviously you need to have some sort of a management in place. And from what we see from our customers, those that have top 10 whatever VPN websites, okay, so they just have 10 products,
yeah,
and maybe they have some variation of those products, so it's fairly easy to manage. They still use some plugins, but it's fairly easy to manage. As soon as you get into the finance world, where you have thousands of pages and thousands of products, you need something robust to manage those links. And there are plenty of solutions to do that. There is like data feeder, there is thirsty affiliates, you have pretty links to
yeah.
manage your links,
Yeah.
and then some free plugins that will do that, as well as those paid plugins. um, but yeah, no, it's true, but it's there are tools for everything,
Yeah, of course, of
eventually.
course. 'Cause I just wanted to clarify when you
And even
say
if something is missing, I'm happy to partner up with you guys.
yeah, yeah. Well, 'cause I definitely wanted to clarify it just because earlier when we said they're all links, the assumption is to people is like, oh, I have to take my CJ link, put it in, right? And I'm glad that you mentioned that. Yeah, you can use Pretty Link because
Yeah,
especially with the paid version, you can have the JavaScript in between the redirects, which will capture the CJ link, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's the only reason why I brought it up. So, but last thing, because I know we're cutting out on time, is evolution of tracking, right? Will as privacy gets so much more stricter, will will JavaScripts, will cookies, will browsers now will be a change in browser tracking, right? There's so much conversation around how tracking will evolve. Even like Pepper Jam changed the whole backend on how they do their redirects and tracking. So I'm not sure now if even people have to put an ID code on just their page under like ianfernando.com network ID 123 or whatever, and then it actually pings back somewhere, right? Where there'll be a plugin in the back end where PepperJam is a plugin. It talks to PepperJam plugin, which talks back to PepperJam, right? That's one part of the conversation you're tracking. Whereas I'm pretty sure this is evolving into something much different, maybe even more complex, just because privacy is such a huge issue with Facebook and Google talking to the U.S. government or U.S. Senate and all that, so
Yeah.
or Congress. I mean.
You're right. I mean, privacy has been like a huge issue, um, and Facebook paid the heavy $5 billion price for that for a couple of years ago for the
That was in
2016
EU, right? In Europe.
election. Sorry.
That was in Europe, right? They paid.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. I'm not sure exactly why it was in Europe, it was in Europe, but for that particular case. It is going to be like a growing issue, and for that reason, my assumption is that everything is going to go server side, and there won't be any client side interactions. Everything will happen, in the background. Um, Still, keeping privacy, as a top priority, but to avoid browsers blocking or uh, you know type of the interaction that might be blocked by ad blockers or things like that. Uh, Everything is going to go server side. We've started implementing that already on at different levels. I mean, yeah, pretty much on the entire platform. Um, but as we move forward, I think there won't be much of a choice but to go that road. Some new browsers like Brave and privacy first, and so like they block everything and like the ad blockers and all of this. I mean, they make it very difficult for call it performance marketer for us, okay?
For real.
For you guys, for me, for my clients, for the industry. But keep in mind that at the end of the day, there are hundreds of thousands and millions of publishers that live off their ad sales, and whether the ad sales goes through AdSense or any other ad net or Tabula or whatever, that's how they live. And unless they can load some JavaScript on their page without being blocked by browsers, and we won't have any news.
That's
So
correct.
it has to be like a fine line. I think it's fair to say that there was like a lot of abuse about privacy, and there still is plenty of abuse. I'm sure, and we don't know yet about it. But yeah, I think people are just tired of this. Just a, a common citizen, I'm talking here. I mean, no, seriously. I mean, okay, we run a business, but then we have like, we are, also the victims of those privacy, invasions. Um, so, um, so yeah, I think it's only natural that the entire industry and the tracking industry is going that way.
So we are at the brink of, big changes. Big changes are coming, and who knows
But
what is going to
they've,
look
they,
like.
they've
The
started.
tracking and the internet as a whole thing.
Yeah, evolve or die, pretty much.
Well, but
Yeah,
it already started. It
it's
Yeah.
already
started with
started. Yeah.
Facebook. Only recently released their server side tracking API, um, which we integrate with. Um, so until maybe a year ago, 8 months ago, there was no like server side tracking with Facebook. It was only the JavaScript pixel,
Yeah.
and that was just now Twitter doesn't have server side tracking. Quora doesn't have server side tracking. Reddit doesn't have server side tracking. I mean, where are those guys? I mean, we're talking about like some of the biggest ad networks, and
Yeah.
they don't have server side tracking. It's only a JavaScript library or tag that you put on your site. And if you don't have a thank you page, then never mind.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm.
So
So
it's crazy where the evolution of tracking going to be. I mean, it is going to be changing for sure. I mean, browsers like Apple, Firefox, Brave, they're definitely blocking stuff, making sure they're even letting you know, like, oh, this is redirecting. Are you sure you want to leave this page? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's changing for sure. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's but I think it's well, I think it's. I mean, there are some good reasons for that. Then there are some abuse also on that side. But then
Yeah,
we'll
I mean,
find the
as affiliate
find
marketers, we're always trying to find that loophole, that little 1% edge that'll give us 1,000%. That's the craziest part about us. You know what I mean, but that abuse
listen.
does come from our side a lot.
No, no, yeah,
Yeah.
that's. But I think when we talk about tracking and privacy and all of this, every advertiser, no matter whether it's an affiliate marketer or it's
Yeah.
just an e-commerce website, every advertiser is affected by this. At the end of the day, you run ads. If you can only attribute 50% of your conversion, you
Oh,
know, you're very limited, to optimizing your ads.
yeah, that's true.
So and if you're just an e-commerce advertiser and to illustrate that, Shopify just released now their integration with the Facebook server side API, conversion API, just
Oh,
now.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah. So uh, and why did they do that? Because that you don't have the entire data set of attribution attributed to your ads.
Man,
And
Facebook's about to come out with their own browser soon. I think. I feel like,
Yeah.
you know. So
uh, yeah, but listen, every browser, or the browser industry eventually, has some standards. And maybe Safari started with the tracking protection, and then Firefox came, and now Chrome is, so it's just a game of like, who's going to do something next. Okay, but eventually we're going to get to a phase where pretty much all browsers, work based on the same standards, because they have to, because the regulation forces them to be, to protect the users.
Yeah, Lauren,
Um,
let me ask you, what do you see as main threats for your business for coming couple of years at least?
Main threat to our business, I mean, to the affiliate marketing industry or to any track?
To any track, yeah.
Well, I think we are just in the trend. So I don't really see a threat. I mean, competition is welcome, obviously. So far, we are the only one doing what we do and the way
don't
we do
worry,
it.
ABC's coming out with a tracker soon.
Yeah.
We're gonna take you over.
Well, if you
That's
need a like
that's
open source library, I'll send it to you.
that's the reason why you're here.
Yeah,
Get some intel.
yeah, exactly.
Um,
Yeah, any
listen,
any any regulations that might be forced into action or whatever, any changes taken by major players, don't you think it might affect your business at all?
well, listen, we work alongside Google Analytics and Facebook Pixel and their dataset. We don't extract data from those places. We send data to those places,
They accept
and
it.
the data that we send, we tie it with their data set based on their um, requirements. And we don't do any hacks. We don't do anything that can at some point say, oh well, those guys at AnyTrack found a loophole, and now we're gonna close that. No, we just work based on their APIs, and and when we do release updates, they verify our app, and the verification of Facebook is actually like far worse than opening a bank account. Uh, it's a serious business
Yeah, of
that they
course.
run, and
They're very
they run
selective
it
of
seriously,
They're very
because
selective of
when
partners.
they fuck up big time with like a $5 billion
Yeah.
fine. So they are very very careful with what they do, and they regulate internally, and they force regulation and compliance on us. Um, but right now we are in the trend of like where the let's say the tracking and privacy is going.
Right, right. Guys, we have just been online for exactly an hour, and I think that is a high time for us to wrap it up because we can't really keep it endless. I know that we can keep
Oh no, I could
talking
talk about it for
for many
days.
years,
I love this shit. Yeah,
but
yeah,
still, we need to keep that within certain time range. Lauren, that was lovely to chat with you. I still do have a few more questions regarding more business side of things, especially SaaS business model, but I still believe that we have another chance to talk about it. And what I'm going to do from my side is to invite you next time to talk with focus on business and your transition to what you're doing now. Does that sound good for you?
Sounds good. I actually really enjoyed the talk, guys.
that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Especially in those days of confinement and quarantine, where like we don't see so many people, only
I know.
like one on one. So now like we got three, so that's a party.
Yeah, exactly. And for all our listening, thank you for being with us today
Thanks,
here.
thanks for
And
having me.
that was lovely. Just to remind you, you are listening affiliate business conversation podcast, right, by ABC Club. Bye now, Ian. Final word to you to say goodbye to.
No, that's it. Appreciate everybody. Make sure to check out Affiliate Business Club for more information in depth. Lauren's actually in our Affiliate Business Club chat for any tracking questions specifically. So see everybody then, and appreciate everybody for listening in.
Stay
Thanks a
tuned.
lot. Bye bye. Bye bye.